The resilience revolution when giving up isn't an option. Good morning, everyone. 3 years ago, I had the extraordinary privilege of sitting across from Serena Dunn, a woman whose very presence commands respect, whose wisdom cuts through noise like clarity itself, and whose journey epitomizes what it means to persevere when everything and everyone tells you to quit. Serena isn't just a successful entrepreneur. She's a force of nature who has dedicated her life to dismantling barriers for women in business across the globe. Her work has directly impacted over 10,000 women entrepreneurs, helping them secure more than $50 million in funding that traditional institutions denied them. Today, I want to share the profound wisdom from that conversation. Wisdom that continues to ripple outward, transforming countless lives through her revolutionary approach to resilience. Have you ever felt like you were pushing against a brick wall? Like every step forward required twice the effort it should? That moment when you wonder if it's worth continuing? I see those nods. We've all been there. Some of us are there right at now. What Serena taught me, what fundamentally altered my entire perspective, is that those walls aren't meant to keep us out. They're there to stop the people who don't want it badly enough. They're not obstacles, they're filters. The moment you're ready to quit, she told me with that knowing smile, is usually the moment right before the miracle happens. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like one of those inspirational quotes you scroll past on Instagram while rolling your eyes. But here's the thing, this isn't just inspirational fluff. This is the lived reality of women entrepreneurs who have transformed entire industries despite systems that were designed without them in mind. Today, I want to explore what happens when giving up isn't an option, when resilience becomes not just a personal quality, but a collective revolution. Let me take you into the world of Black women entrepreneurs, a group that Serena highlighted as perhaps the most powerful example of resilience in modern business. The numbers tell a story that defies logic. Black women owned businesses have seen average revenue increases of 32.7% in recent years. Let that sink in. A third more growth during economic uncertainty, during a pandemic, during times when many businesses were scaling back or shutting down entirely. But here's what makes this truly remarkable: these same entrepreneurs receive less than 1% of venture capital funding. 1%. They face loan rejection rates nearly 3 times higher than their white counterparts. They navigated systems that weren't built with them in mind, systems that often actively worked against them. So, how did they do it? What can we learn from this extraordinary resilience? Serena explained that when traditional doors remained closed, these entrepreneurs didn't just knock harder, they built new doors entirely. They didn't just think outside the box, they created entirely new boxes. They formed networks where none existed. They established funding circles when banks said no. They mentored each other, promoted each other, invested in each other, creating ecosystems of support that traditional institutions failed to provide. One entrepreneur Serena highlighted started with $500 in a kitchen table. 5 years later, her beauty brand was generating 7 figures annually. Not because the path was easy, but because giving up wasn't an option. When you don't see quitting as a choice, Serena told me, your brain starts finding solutions instead of exits. This isn't just about business growth, it's about a fundamental shift in how we approach obstacles. Let's look at another powerful example Serena shared: women in technology. The tech industry has long been a challenging space for women. The statistics are sobering. Women hold just 26% of computing jobs, receive only 2% of venture capital funding, and face significant barriers to advancement. Yet something remarkable is happening. Women led tech companies are delivering 35% higher returns on investment than their male led counterparts. They're creating more diverse teams, developing more inclusive products, and solving problems that have long been overlooked. How? By leveraging digital tools and platforms in innovative ways, by creating communities that support and elevate each other, by refusing to accept the status quo. Serena shared the story of a woman who was told her healthcare app wasn't viable by 17 different investors. 17 rejections that would have crushed many spirits. Rather than abandoning her vision, she built a prototype, gathered user data, and approached community organizations instead. Today, her platform serves over 200,000 women who previously had limited access to healthcare information. Resilience, Serena emphasized, isn't just about enduring hardship, it's about transforming obstacles into opportunities. This brings me to perhaps the most encouraging trend Serena highlighted: the dramatic increase in women's startup activity between 2001 to 2005 and 2021 to 2023. Women's startup rates jumped from 6.1% to 10.4%. That might not sound revolutionary until you consider the context. For decades, women started businesses at rates dramatically lower than men, 64% lower to be precise. The barriers were numerous: limited access to capital, fewer mentorship opportunities, and persistent stereotypes about leadership. What changed? According to Serena, several factors converged to create this shift. First, digital platforms democratize access to markets. A woman with a brilliant idea no longer needed massive capital to reach customers. Second, the visibility of successful women founders increased, providing crucial role models for aspiring entrepreneurs. Third, and perhaps most importantly, women began creating their own ecosystems of support, networks, funding collectives, and mentorship programs designed specifically to address the unique challenges women entrepreneurs face. When traditional systems fail you, Serena noted, you have two choices: give up or build something better. These women chose the latter, and the world is better for it. But here's where Serena's insights become truly transformative. This isn't just about business success, it's about a fundamental shift in how we define strength itself. For too long, we've equated strength with stoicism, with pushing through pain alone, with never showing vulnerability. This is especially true for Black women who have carried the strong Black woman burden for generations, expected to endure, to carry on, to hold families and communities together, regardless of personal cost. Serena's work challenges this narrative. The entrepreneurs she highlighted demonstrate that true resilience isn't about suffering in silence. It's about building communities. It's about asking for help when needed. It's about vulnerability as a pathway to connection. The most resilient women I know, Serena told me, aren't lone wolves, they're pack leaders. They understand that surviving alone isn't the goal, thriving together is. This reframing of resilience resonates deeply with so many of us who have been taught that strength means never showing weakness. It's about recognizing that softness and strength aren't opposites, they're companions. That rest isn't the absence of productivity, it's its foundation. That boundaries aren't selfish, they're sacred. As Serena put it, the women changing the world aren't burning themselves out to do it. They're learning to protect their peace while pursuing their purpose. This is revolutionary, especially for high achieving women who have spent years in survival mode, leading teams, raising families, holding down households, carrying communities. The data shows us something powerful. When women support each other, when they create ecosystems rather than egosystems, when they prioritize collective success over individual achievement, extraordinary things happen. Black women owned businesses outpace market growth despite systemic barriers. Women in tech create more profitable companies despite industry biases. Female founders launch innovative startups despite funding disparities, not because the path is easy, but because they've redefined what it means to walk it. So, what can we learn from these resilience revolutionaries? What wisdom can we apply to our own lives, regardless of gender, race, or profession? First, redefine resilience itself. It's not about enduring pain, it's about transforming it. It's not about going it alone, it's about building communities that make the journey possible. Second, create your own ecosystem. When traditional systems fail you, don't just knock harder on closed doors, build new ones. Find your people, support them fiercely, and allow them to support you. Third, protect your peace while pursuing your purpose. As Serena emphasized, burnout isn't a badge of honor, rest isn't a reward, it's a requirement. Fourth, remember that your struggles may become someone else's solution. The obstacles you overcome today might create pathways for others tomorrow. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, recognize that giving up is rarely the answer. Not because you need to suffer, but because persistence, intelligent, community supported, rest integrated persistence almost always leads to breakthrough. I want to leave you today with a challenge, one that Serena issued to me and that I now pass on to you. Identify one wall in your life that you've been pushing against, one dream that seems impossible, one goal that feels just out of reach. Now, instead of asking, should I keep going? Ask yourself, how can I build a door where this wall stands? Who can I bring alongside me? What community might I create or join? What resources might exist that I haven't yet discovered? The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't isn't talent or luck. It's the willingness to stay in the game one day longer than seems reasonable. It's the courage to ask for help. It's the vision to see beyond traditional pathways. As Serena so powerfully stated, we are not just surviving anymore. We are not just breaking barriers. We are building entirely new structures where barriers become bridges, where obstacles become opportunities, where every woman's success becomes a foundation for another's beginning. This is the power of perseverance. This is the gift of not giving up. This is what happens when resilience becomes not just a personal quality, but a collective revolution. The next time you face that wall, remember it is not there to stop you. It's there to show you how badly you want what's on the other side. And perhaps more importantly, it's there to introduce you to the community of wall climbers, door builders, and path creators who will transform your journey from a solitary struggle into a shared triumph. The resilience revolution isn't coming, it's already here. The only question is, will you join it? Thank you.